independence of Mongolia. That country gained independence from the Qing dynasty many years ago. The Qing dynasty was not a Chinese empire. It was ruled by Manchus and consisted of Min, who are current Chinese people. Because you talk about the people of Tibet, Uyghur, and the likes, these are people originally from Mongolia. Anyway, the independence of Mongolia is celebrated today, the 29th of December. A number of other things being commemorated today, the 29th of December. If you're celebrating anything, we'll celebrate with you. If your celebration is one that would require that you and a number of people are together, please, you know the guidelines. Social distance, wear your face masks, and be safe, please. Thank you for joining us this Tuesday morning. Time to take a look at the headlines on the national dailies on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. It's freshly pressed this Tuesday morning. It's freshly pressed this Tuesday on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. The last couple of days of the year 2020, after today, there will be two more as far as freshly pressed is concerned. But let's enjoy as much as we can the remaining days of the year on this show. Wale Bakare is my name. Good to know you're there joining us. This is where we'll take a look at the headlines on the national dailies. We do this from Mondays through Fridays from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. The Punch, the Tribune, the pen-pushing newspapers, the Guardian, the Premium Times are some of the dailies available to us this morning. Quite a number of headlines to look out for this morning. Mr. Samson Akindele is on the program with me this morning as we take a look at the headlines together. Good morning to you, sir. Great to see you again.
Good morning, Wale. Good morning, listeners.
The Punch says COVID-19 second wave, federal government, National Assembly consider UK-US flights ban next week. It's on the Punch this morning. This is something that has been in the offing for a while now, especially with this new variant discovered in the UK and a number of countries making the decision to ban flights from that area. COVID-19 second wave, federal government, National Assembly consider UK-US flights ban next week. Is on the Punch. The Tribune says COVID-19, NCDC confirms 397 new cases, toll now 84,811. That's on the Tribune this morning. The Guardian also with the latest numbers as regards the COVID-19, but they also have these other reports. NMA seeks life insurance for doctors, others over COVID-19 is on the Guardian this morning. Nigeria records 10 more deaths, 397 new cases. That is on the Premium Times this morning. The Premium Times with a number of other COVID-19 related stories. Virtually all the dailies talking about the second wave of the pandemic. The pen-pushing newspapers as well with a number of reports talking about the COVID-19 pandemic as well. The pen-pushing newspapers also says police arrest alleged human trafficking kingpin in Ogun State. Is on the pen-pushing newspapers this morning. Nigeria police officers return bail money to suspects' family. There's a story on the Premium Times. You might want to look out for that one. The Guardian, talking about security now, says Zulum to provide patrol vehicles for civilian JTF. Is on the Guardian this morning. Navy rescues drowning passengers in Lagos boat accident. Is another on the Guardian. Reps deny apologizing to Buhari. Fault Malami's claim on summon. Is on the Guardian as well this morning. There are a number of other reports that you will find on that daily. The Tribune says bandits kill lawmaker's uncle, abduct newly wedded couple, 13 others in Katsina. Is on the Tribune this morning. Attacks on Kuka. Southern Middle Belt leaders demand apology. is on the Tribune as well. Apapa gridlock, Lagos to take over from presidential task force is another report on the Tribune this morning. The Punch says Kuka receives backing. Catholic says bishops attackers agents of evil. That is on the Punch this morning. There is also this one. Oshomale's meddling. Obaseki's deputy frustrated, confused, says APC. That is another on the Punch this morning. Remember, the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shuaibu, has been having a number of things to say about the former APC National Chairman, Adams Oshomale. Well, the APC, they're saying Obaseki's deputy frustrated, confused is a story on the Punch this morning. There are a number of others to look out for. I visited I visited US to see my children, not for checkup. That's according to Governor Sule, is on the Punch this morning. There had been reports that the governor had visited for medical checkup. Well, he says he went to check on his children. That's on the Punch this morning. There are a number of headlines to look out for this morning. A number of them talking about the COVID-19 situation, security also getting a number, and talks concerning what the NMA are asking from the federal government, especially after the COVID-19 continue to take the lives of some of their members. We'll get into some of this in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
One passenger, big auntie. Come and enter my bus now.
Hey, conductor, this cough is serious. I beg, you need to go to the hospital.
Hospital? Auntie, if I go hospital now with this cough, those people will just say I have COVID-19.
No, they won't. Doctors say cough symptoms are different in every condition. Some are dry, others are wet, like your own.
God bless you, auntie. I have told this my conductor. The cough has refused to go, and it could be tuberculosis.
Conductor, check am o. Make you dey sure, because who no go, no go, no.
Check that cough for tuberculosis.
If your cough is more than 2 weeks, it could be tuberculosis. TB tests and TB treatment are free. Just call the National TB Hotline on 3340 for information on where to get the tests.
This message is brought to you by Ogun State Tuberculosis, Leprosy, and Brule OSA Control Program and National TB Control Program Global Fund Project.
Babe, I can't believe I won't see you again till next week. I've really missed you.
Nah, I miss you more.
That's impossible because I miss you more.
Me, I miss you like Ilode.
Oh my. Wow, babe, we've been talking for like forever. Oh yeah. Time to hang up.
No, you hang up.
Okay. Let's hang up on 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. You didn't hang up.
Neither did you, Joe.
That's because I don't want to stop hearing your voice.
Aw, babe.
Your pillow talk doesn't have to end when you talk all day long for just 11 co per second to all networks. Dial star 311 hash to get talking right away.
Glow Unlimited.
Thank you for staying with us. Freshly pressed this Tuesday morning on Fresh 107.9 FM Abeokuta. Let's take a look at the latest numbers reported by the NCDCs on the Tribune this morning. COVID-19, NCDC confirms 397 new cases, total now 84,811. The NCDC, according to their post late yesterday night, showed that Lagos at the highest with 144 new cases, followed by Plateau with 83, Kaduna with 48, Adamawa 36. It goes on and on. Ogun with 2 new cases, the same numbers as Akwa Ibom, and then there's Niger, Bauchi, and Zamfara with 1 new case each. Confirmed cases in the country so far: 84,811, 71,357 have been discharged. 1,264 people have now died from the virus. That's 10 more than the previous day. According to the Premium Times, they say COVID-19, Nigeria records 10 more deaths 397 new cases. That's on the Premium Times this morning. There are a number of other stories on some of the dailies talking about the COVID. NMA is on The Guardian this morning. NMA seeks life insurance for doctors, others over COVID-19. Is on The Guardian this morning. But the Punch, as his report, says COVID-19 second wave, federal government, National Assembly consider UK-US flights ban next week. Is on the Punch this morning. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Aviation, Senator Smart Adeyemi, on Monday said the National Assembly and the Ministry of Aviation were considering banning flights from the UK, the US, and other countries with high rates of COVID-19. Adeyemi, who stated this in an interview with one of Punch correspondents in Abuja, said a decision on the issue would be announced next week. The federal government's plan may not be unconnected with pressures on it to stop further spread of coronavirus by banning flights from nations with high rates of the virus. Recall that the president of the Nigeria Medical Association, Professor Innocent Uja, in an interview with The Punch on Sunday, said travelers from the UK and US were worsening COVID-19 cases in Nigeria. The NMA president stated, I quote, "Government knows that they, that's travelers from UK and US, are the ones responsible for increasing cases, and the results have shown that, and government knows what they should do." Although the PTF on COVID-19 on Thursday imposed fresh requirements on passengers from the UK and South Africa, flights from the two countries were not banned. The PTF only opened registers for travelers from the two countries because of deadlier strains of coronavirus discovered there. It, however, said there were no new strains of the virus in Nigeria, but there are fears that travelers who obtained fake COVID-19 results could have brought the new virus into the country. Well, the US, that's the country with the highest number of cases. As of yesterday night, they had well over 19 million infections. Over 341 people have died of the virus in the US. The UK, over 2 million infections. Over 71,000 have died. The rest of that story is on the Punch this morning. COVID-19 second wave, federal government, National Assembly consider UK-US flights ban next week. Is on the Punch this morning. There are a number of people who believe, although some would be relieved to hear about this plan to ban flights from these places next week, but then there are a number of people who believe that it is not even something we should be tarrying about. It's something that we should just go ahead and do, considering that a number of other countries in the world, especially talking about people traveling in from the UK, and some have asked the question, if this were to be the other way around, would these other countries delay, banning flights coming in from Nigeria? And for the NMA, they've come out to say that travelers from the US, the UK, they are some people worsening the COVID situation. And then there's the issue of these people dropping fake COVID results just to get into the country.
Well, the reasons are not far-fetched. You know, why we've been delaying banning flights from those countries. We are a dependent nation. And when you look at the way the economy is now, officially in recession, some personal economies are in depression and all that, you also want to look at it that, okay, what are we gaining if we shut the borders? And what are we going to lose? I mean, the air borders now, the airspace, what are we going to lose? So the federal government needs to consider the pros and cons. But in a time like this, when it's about life, the delay shouldn't be that much. Next week is too long for anybody to take any decision, because that next week might be Friday next week. That will be January 8th. You know, so the whatever they want to do, it's a decision they can take. In fact, that they are just planning to make an announcement of it. It's already late. So we need to once and for all take a decision on those countries. It's not a very easy decision to even those countries that will have said, oh, flights should not come from here, from there. They will have looked at the pros and cons and wait before really placing a ban. Some countries, a country like US, they are almost self-sufficient. They can shut their airspace, just align. You remember when the lockdown was coming, the US simply said, look, if you are not a US citizen, you are not allowed back into the country. And they did that immediately. So for us, we also have to be bold. Now talking about our leaders, that look, check out the pros and cons. We are already, setting up guidelines there for people. They are not following it. Are you sure that these people coming in will also follow some of the... Remember at that time too, some people came into the country that the federal government just said, please, when you come in, go and isolate.
And they didn't.
That was loose.
And that has raised questions. Sorry about this. That has raised questions about this arrangement for people coming in from the UK after that new variant was discovered. What we did, or what we've been doing, is there's a separate register for them just to continue to monitor. And, over time, from what you said, from the last period, we can tell that people cannot be allowed to make to do things on their own. They appear not to be able to be ready to do things on their own.
Sorry to say that a lot of people are not that responsible. So you need to force them to do some things. You need to just look around us. Look at the traffic situation, even in the land here. If there is no one to pick you up when you beat the traffic light, the red light, you just do it and go away with it. So the impunity goes on and on. So it is the government that must enforce the guidelines without being, sometimes partial bias. Yes, without being selective.
Okay.
But like some people say, it's because their children are abroad, they are friends, they are the one flying about. No, you have some ordinary citizens too who fly. And some of them do this for businesses, not just for... Some people are studying abroad, legitimately. So don't let us just think, how many are these leaders that we are talking about? But their family, everybody that will fly. I'm not sure they are up to 1% of the population of the people that fly in and out of this country. So we have some other people who have businesses to transact, they have goods to bring in, they have some other things. But we can also not consider business over life at this time, because it's only when you are alive, that you can talk business. So that's what government should do. As for the fake whatever that you have, see, it takes two to tango. Who are the people issuing the fake certificates? That is a probe coming there. Who are the people? Check it out very well. Some officials of government might be involved in that.
Interestingly, there was a time that it was reported that the PTF was going after those that were issuing fake certificates. We don't know how far or what has come out of that.
Once you arrest someone who is in possession of it, the job is half done. Mr. Man, where did you get it? Simple. Then you go to the source. But when some of these people too are involved in this kind of arrangement, they look away, because it's easier for them to say, okay, I want to fly out of the country. I need to take, I'm coming in, I will get this. Where are they getting it from? It's supposed to be at the airport.
Well,
so who are the people doing that at the airport?
I don't know. Interestingly, it might be somewhat tricky, saying for certain that someone has a fake result, except maybe they got it from uncertified places. But there are legitimately people who probably would test negative at their point of departure and maybe test positive at the point of arrival, or test negative at if we don't know where they did the test. If it's somewhere like our places where where samples are taken for a while, sometimes they could be negative at the point of sample dropping and then positive afterwards.
Some people have a penchant for looking for shortcuts for everything. Even when people would they're looking for the yellow fever thing at that time. There's some, corner shops, where you can get this thing, and you leave the country. Some of them will be pinpointed at the place of destination. So this thing has been with us, but we're in a unique time, and everybody should be careful. It's not just the government that should be careful. Even we, the citizens, if you cheat and you think you are cheating government or you are cheating your way out of this situation, you might be cheating yourself, because if you eventually take this thing home, of course you know what that means. So everybody has to be responsible. If the government is not responsible enough, you be the difference.
Well, there's some time, at least from what we see on this report, for those that will be making travels from the UK, the US. Federal government, National Assembly consider UK-US flights ban next week. Is on the Punch this morning. It's somewhat similar to the Rivers situation. Very funny. The Rivers State governor saying, well, you can do whatever it is you want to do from now to the end of the year. If you want to go to club, very funny. Says go to club well, enjoy yourself well, because from January, we will be imposing some fresh restrictions. Some would say, how about just do it already, because a number of things could have happened before then.
That's also not cool. If you know what January is, that's the, if I can call it, permit the use of the word, the driest month out of the 12 months. That's why a lot of people are afraid. That's why some people are also been pushing it on social media that, look, if you are spending money for Christmas and New Year, be careful.
Never January.
You don't know what January will bring. So if January will come with a lockdown, then you already sealed your own fate. So for the governor to say that, well, maybe he's just telling them that, look, the way you guys are behaving irresponsibly, you will give me no option, that to do this. But it's better that the Christmas, New Year celebration thing maybe should have been restricted. It would have been better that way, because by the time people come down with the infections in January, even the state government might not be able to handle that. But we are only hoping, we pray a lot here, and we hope God, as usual, will answer our prayers and make sure that this thing is done, because with the way the economy is and the uncertainty about January, I don't know. We just have to be careful from now.
FG National Assembly consider UK-US flights ban next week is on the Punch this morning. The Tribune with the latest numbers for you to look out for. The Premium Times says Nigeria records 10 more deaths, 397 new cases. Is on the Premium Times this morning. One very important thing.
In a day.
Yes, one very important thing the Rivers governor said over the weekend, Mr. Governor Nation Wike, was for these people saying COVID doesn't exist. He said it doesn't exist for you because you haven't found your close relative or your neighbor, catching the virus or dying because of the virus.
That's a valid point.
You don't understand. And the hope is that doesn't turn to be the turn out to be the eye opener for any of us.
A former commissioner for sports in Ogun State here came up with his own testimony at some point. When he tested positive.
Very early days.
In the early days, Bukola Olokpade, a former presidential spokesperson, Donyo Kukpe, also from here, also said it. Say, if you don't know anybody around you, at least you can believe these ones that have come out to say, look, this is what we went through. So I think some people can just like some people can believe anything. Some people can disbelieve anything. They'll just say, look, it is scam. That's the usual language out there. But I hope those people will not scam themselves, because by the time it comes so close to you, it might be too late for you, because by that time too, maybe they will now rush everybody in your household for the to go and do the test, and you find out that you are one of them that will test positive. Then you begin to panic. So rather than getting into that panic mode, why not do the right thing now?
Because the right things: wear your face mask in public, wash your hands with soap and water, social distance. If you don't have to be out there, please stay home. Let's all stay safe. We'll take a very quick break and return in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
So, dem don tada gidigba berekete for Abeokuta Ogun State. Their name na Shoba Services Nigeria Limited. They be on kpatakpata for clearing and forwarding the agency to send anything to anywhere in Nigeria or to abroad. Relax. Shoba Services Nigeria Limited will help you send them to anywhere. Local and international delivery like letter, documents, and parcel. Not be only this one be their job. They sabi about all this one as well. Yeah, and safe ride, yeah, ticketing, insurance. Shoba Services Nigeria Limited. Go meet them for their office today.
Where day number 46
7 Olúṣẹ́gun Ọ̀ṣọ́bà Road, Òkèléwó, Abẹ́òkúta.
Their WhatsApp number be 0818 900 8976. Telephone line 0802 387 5069 and 0818 900 8912. Website www.showoba.com.ng. On social media, Show Oba Services Nigeria Limited. Email sowkLTD@yahoo.co.uk. Show Oba Services Nigeria Limited. Make una go meet them today.
Ọkọ mi, ṣé bọ́ọ̀sì yìí ti kún ṣá? Ṣé ìyá awakọ̀ ló jókòó sí? Ó yá pe nọ́mbà ọkọ̀ yẹn fún mi.
Màámi, ẹ má ṣe yọnu.
Dá mi lóhùn o jàre. Ó dá tí ẹ ṣe fídíò kọ̀ pàápàá kí n ra awakọ̀ yín ọ̀hún.
Ó lé tó yẹn màámi, ṣùgbọ́n ó màámi, ẹ̀yin náà má ti mọ bó ṣe lọ gan ni kẹ̀. Fídíò call kẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kẹ́, àtìgbà tí mo ti bọ́ sórí òpó ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ Airtel ni mo ti ń gba dátà lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ nígbàkúgbà tí ń bá rówó ìpè tí pè mí nílẹ̀ yá àti sókè òkú sì ti di kọ́bọ̀ mọ́kànlá péré fún ìṣẹ́jú àáyá kan.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o, máa bọ̀ lórí òpó ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ Airtel lónìí kí wọn náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gbádùn gbogbo ìpè rẹ ní kọ́bọ̀ mọ́kànlá fún ìṣẹ́jú àáyá kan pẹ̀lú dátà ọ̀fẹ́ ní gbogbo ìgbà tó bá ra owó ìpè. Wàá sì tún gbádùn ìlọ́po méjì dátà fún oṣù mẹ́ta lórí àtẹ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ tó ní agbára 4G tó gbòòrò jùlọ. Ó ní ìlànà àti òfin o.
Wọ́n sọ fún awakọ̀ yẹn kó ṣe jẹ́jẹ́ jàre.
Màámi,
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Still freshly pressed this Tuesday morning. Thank you for staying with us. Let's run along very quickly now. There's this report on the Tribune. Says Apapa gridlock, Lagos to take over from Presidential Task Force. The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Monday said efforts are in top gear to address the gridlock at Apapa axis of Lagos metropolis, disclosing that plans were on by the state government to take over from the Presidential Task Force, which is currently in charge. It would be recalled that the task force was set up by the federal government to address the age-long traffic lockjam in the area, but the problem, rather than abating, has continued to deteriorate. Speaking after an inspection tour that lasted for hours at Apapa, Governor Sanwo-Olu explained that even though the port belonged to the federal government, the state government would have to come in fully to address the problem to bring about a better solution to the gridlock. This was just as stakeholders and transporters operating at the port Lagos, who received the governor on the visit, attributed lackadaisical attitude of the agency's officials and alleged extortion by security personnel as a cause of gridlock in the area. Well, it goes on and on. The Apapa situation is one example of so many issues that we've had in this country for over time, set up different task forces, different teams to look into it, but for some reason, it continues to be the same. And it's affecting so many things. Interestingly, there's this other report on the Punch. That other report is on the Tribune, but the Punch says transporting containers in Lagos equals shipping cost from China.
Yeah.
That's according to a report on the Punch this morning. The congestion at the Apapa port in Lagos has become so bad that trucking a container from the port to the mainland, which is just about 20 kilometers, now costs about $4,000. That's 1.5 million naira, which is almost the same cost as shipping one container from China to Nigeria. This is according to a report by the Financial Times of London titled Nigeria's Port Crisis, the $4,000 charge to carry goods across Lagos. The dysfunction in Lagos is allowing other West African ports servicing far smaller markets to eclipse Nigeria. According to the report, I quote, Lomé in Togo is now the region's busiest port, and cargo destined for Nigeria is increasingly offloaded or shipped via smaller vessels from ports in Ghana, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, and Congo Brazzaville, says the Financial Times. The business newspaper stated that congestion, bribery, and storage costs add to problems for importers in Nigeria. Financial Times reports that cargo ships often wait more than a month off the coast before they would offload their goods in the ports. The rest of that is on the Punch this morning. Transporting containers in Lagos equals shipping costs from China. That's according to a report by the Financial Times. And then there's that other report on the Tribune. It says Apapa gridlock, Lagos to take over from Presidential Task Force. There's been so many task forces, so many teams, so many. It's been on for so many years. But for some reason, we've just not been able to find a solution to it. Different leaders from one administration to the other, from one Minister of Transportation, Trade and Investment to the other, nothing.
Well, there's a long-running crisis at the Apapa and Tinkan Island ports. I remember my days as a beat reporter with transports in Lagos, and I think this has been on for over 17 years. It's not just starting. And those who make themselves rich from the chaos, they won't let this go. They won't want things to change for the better, because it's okay for them if it's like this. And that's why when you set up task force, I have seen task force as being synonymous with corruption in Nigeria. And number one thing they do is extortion. That's their stock in trade. And you know, no matter how many task force you put in place, if you have not gone to the foundation, you are not going to solve that problem. Now we have a situation whereby we are complaining about the economy not doing well, and we have conceded part of our economy to Lomé in Togo, to Cotonou in Benin Republic, in fact Ghana. To Ghana, you know. And what do those ones do? Those who bring in things, because sometimes these vessels will stay off the coast of this country for a month, and that's enough time for them to move from China or anywhere to Nigeria, and they are spending money. The crew members will have to eat. They will have to do some other things. They need to run, you know, there. So God help you if you have some things that you are bringing in that, you know, that will go. So insurance companies are also crying because of that. So why is this so difficult? Number one, the movement of goods away from the ports has always been chaotic. That's why you have the congestion. When at that time, let me talk about even 10 years ago, when I think it was Mr. Kayode Okpefa that was the commissioner for transportation in Lagos State. They did a lot to make this better. But you know what the people that work at the port do? Because they knew that the port belonged to the federal government, they tend to disobey Lagos State government, because they said, no, it's federal government property, you can't do this. And by the time you drag, and that time Lagos was in in terms of political party, they were in the opposition. So the chaos was also made political at that point. Now, getting to this point now, what has changed? The railway has not come, though, even though they said they will extend it to the port so that they can move out goods faster and reduce the number of trucks, whether it's you are talking about dry cargo or wet cargo, at least reduce the number. We had once upon a time in this country when we were moving even petroleum products on rail. Can we bring that back? And since we stopped doing that, that was when the congestion started. Now the road they are doing for Apapa Port, sanity is returning because of the use of technology that they have, you know, put in, but they still do manual checking being done by the customs. Why is it that you must open every container because you are checking? What has happened to the scanners to check whether some people are bringing in certain things, and if you suspect any container, you put it to the side and allow others to go? So these are the issues. So task force will not be the solution. Perhaps it's just for this period that we are in, short-term solution, but the long-term solution is how can people move out their stuff from the ports with ease?
Because a number of people have also spoken about the other ports in the country and how they've been
Calabar,
somewhat useless.
In all those places, why must I bring my container that is going to Aba? Why must I bring it through Lagos? And that's why no matter how many billion or trillions you spend on the road, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, especially, I really pity us, because they are doing it now. As you are driving on it, as I'm speaking with you, we are already seeing the tires of these trailers also depressing the road that have not been done fully. So we are in for a long ride if we don't do anything about the other ports, just to ease the frustration that people are going through.
On the Lagos port,
a lot of people that have houses in Apapa, they already some are selling. If they are not selling, they have leased the houses to some people as warehouses and all that, because you can't live there anymore. Many offices have been relocated.
All right, let's move on very quickly. Kuka receives backing. Catholic says bishops attack as agents of evil. The Christian Association of Nigeria in the 19 northern states and Abuja on Monday warned the presidency and Murik, as Muslim rights concern, against twisting the homily delivered by the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Bishop Matthew Cook, on Christmas Day. This is also at the Catholic Church described those attacking the bishop as agents of evil. Kuka, in a Christmas message titled "The Nation in Search of Vindication," accused President Muhammadu Buhari of nepotism, noting that Buhari was deliberately sacrificing the dreams of Nigerians to institutionalize northern hegemony. The cleric's statement attracted sharp criticisms and condemnations from the presidency and Murik. But in a statement in Kaduna on Monday titled "Twisting Bishop Kuka's Christmas Message, Injurious to Nation Building," the Northern Can defended the cleric, noting that the message reflected the current reality across the country. The statement, authored by the Vice Chairman Northern Can, Reverend John Ayab, said the association was shocked at an attempt by the presidency and Murik to twist the message, that's Kuka's message, and warned against such. He described as baseless and worrisome the claim by the president of Murik, Professor Ishaq Akintola, that Bishop Kuka had referred to Islam as a violent religion and called for a coup. The Northern Can said there was no expression that suggested that Bishop Kuka's message was an affront to Islam or a call for a coup. He goes on and on. He's on the Punch. Says Kuka receives backing. Catholic says Bishop attackers agents of evil. The Tribune says attacks on Kuka. Southern Middle Belt leaders demand apology. That's on the Tribune this morning as well. Because it's been a number of days since Christmas. 3 days now, 4 days thereabout. But this is something that is still getting a lot of attention. A number of people gave different interpretations to the message, by the cleric. It just again tells you the power, that a lot of things that can't go on the pulpit. Some talk about being careful, but there are some that look at his message and say, well, it reflects the situation in the country. He hasn't said anything wrong. He didn't call for a coup. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. And it's just polarized opinions generally.
Well, I'm not surprised this is coming this way because if you know the caliber of Bishop Matthew Kuka, for those who have been following him, the 80s, the 90s, he had always been a pain in the neck of government, especially even during the military regime. So I don't think he will be cowed by what people are saying. He has already dropped his message, and that's his opinion. Other people will have their own opinion. Some people are already saying, what he said is treasonable, blah blah blah. They are also expressing their opinion. If they feel so pained about some of the things he said, perhaps they should institute a lawsuit. Perhaps they should pick up the bishop. Then we know what we are doing at that time. So I think for those who are against some of his, not everything I will say as something like me that everybody will agree with. Of course. Where Islam was mentioned, of course, that's where Murik is coming in. That how can you say this? Where the issue of Q was also mentioned. Some people in the north were also not comfortable that why are you saying if it was a non-northerner that is there, that would have been a coup, and all those things. So you don't have to agree with everything. But as he said the truth in that long message, if you are afraid of the truth, then I'm sorry. Maybe you need someone to lie to you all the time so you feel good. He has said it the way he felt it should be said. Other people should also pick up their pen and write messages. But in all this, we have to be very careful. What do we want as a people? Do we want peace that will bring, do we want justice? And if we want justice, we have to make sure that we work for it. Because without justice, peace, there will not be development. And that is what, Bishop Kuka has said. All right. So for those attacking him, for those you can see some people are also supporting him. Because it's an opinion thing.
All right, let's move on. Reps deny apologizing to Buhari. Fault Malami's claim on someone is on The Guardian. The House of Reps yesterday said it was untrue that it apologized to President Muhammadu Buhari for summoning him to appear before it over security matters. In a statement issued in Abuja, spokesman for the House, Benjamin Kalu, urged the media to uphold the ethics of journalism practice and not misconstrue events or developments. According to him, the president of the presidency, as the case may be, never sought for an apology from the House of Reps for carrying out a constitutional responsibility to the Nigerian electorate. Where then did the media get the report that the House as an institution apologized to anyone? For the avoidance of doubt, the House never apologized to anyone for exercising its constitutional mandate and will not do anything to desecrate or destroy the legislature as a critical institution of democracy. We strongly believe that President Buhari subscribes to these democratic ethos and ideals as well, Kalu said in that report. The rest of it is on The Guardian. Reps deny apologizing to Buhari, fault Malami's claim on summon. Of course, what the House of Reps said at that time was they were going to wait for explanations from the presidency as to why the president did not appear that Thursday that he was expected to. I'm sure those explanations haven't, maybe if they've been made, they've not been made public. Well, it's on The Guardian this morning, that particular report. We'll take a very quick pause and hear from you in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Hello? Mommy. Enjoyment minister.
I did say you.
Mommy, how you dey enjoy village now?
My darling, I did enjoy myself, don't be small. Wait, you remember Uncle Femi now?
Yes, now.
In the year, he want to greet you.
Ah, Uncle Femi, good evening, sir.
Auntie Fiona dey here sef, or you greet her too?
Auntie V, compliment of the season, ma.
Wait, talk to Uncle Jide, he won't hear your voice too.
Who be Uncle Jide?
You mean say you don't remember Uncle Jide? That time when you still small and they come carry you go square?
Now you too can get closer to family and loved ones with 10% bonus credit on every recharge. Just dial *777# to recharge or recharge using Glow Cafe. Offer lasts till December 31st, 2020.
He never finish you. Oh, yeah, follow your grand auntie talk now. You don't go follow your uncle talk. See your cousin, no.
Glow Unlimited. When the desirable becomes unavailable, then the available becomes the desirable. Now, the desirable is here. Brought to you by Aquifer Water Technical Services. The days of installing problematic boreholes are over. Aquifer is here to make your desired dreams of installing boreholes in the most seamless, technology-facilitated way a reality. They pride themselves on high integrity and professionalism with accurate and impeccable underground water survey. Their boreholes and installations are with up-to-date technology. You can also count on them to help you maintain your borehole to make it long-lasting. All their equipments are from overseas. Do you have a borehole that is giving you issues or you want to install a new borehole? Contact Aquifer Water Technical Services today at OM68, second floor, Omida Shopping Mall, opposite Omida Market. Telephone 0803-521-9273 or 0815-568-7878. Aquifer Water Technical Services. We excel in borehole technology.
I dey think, oh, where the load go come from? I dey think, oh, I look up, I look down, I see phone for my hand, eh? Oh yeah. Express for express load, na sure banker, oh, eh.
Hard life no dey pay anybody o. That na why EcoBank land with Express Loan. Loan where everybody fit get, where they save with Express Save. Dial *326# to open your own Express Save account today on top your phone. Bang, you don't open am. No wahala. And with Express Save, you go fit get boku chance for Express Loan.
Express Save for express loan, na sure banker, oh, eh.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Thank you for staying with us this morning. Just a number of minutes for us on the program. Let's get to hear from you now. 0815-432-1079, 0815-432-1079, 08181111079, 08181111079. Those are the numbers to call. Tell us your name, where you're calling from. We have 60 seconds. Let's make our contributions very quick this morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Wale and Mr. Samson. Yeah, following Bolan from Shagorili. Yeah, I want to have my take in the report that says that the presidency are making plans next week, for the shutdown, of airplane. Most importantly, those ones that they
flights from US and UK.
Yes. So the fact is that is welcome development that they are, giving us notice for that. But they should not suspend it again. If they suspend it again, that is procrastination. They should do what is needful at the right time. This thing has happened before. It shouldn't happen again. And to night assembly, expecting the presidency, to tell them why he doesn't come, for the invite. I think this night assembly, they are making us to feel like they are doing party. They should speak for people. That is the point. Good morning.
All right, good morning. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Wale.
Good morning.
Mr. Thompson, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You have Solomon on the line. For Father Kuka, I think nobody that said what Father Kuka said that is happening in Nigeria is not true. But when you make a comment like who, when you make a comment like if it is non-Muslim from that particular area, what are you trying to tell Nigerians? And Mr. Sampson, and we all know that you are part of this committee. Because you are part of this committee, you shouldn't, there are some statements you don't even need to make. Because what kind of example are you leaving for those people that you said you went to their states to go and sign peace agreement or whatever? What kind of example are you giving to them? Look, and to even make the matter worse, the Catholic bishop, their statement yesterday is even putting more fire. And when you said, one of the headlines said, anybody that that disagree with Father Kuka is an agent of devil. Look at Noreta statement.
No.
Also,
not those that disagree. Those attacking him for his views.
Those who are attacking him. Can you somebody like me? Am I attacking him?
Now, apparently, you disagree.
Look at Noreta's statement too.
Mr. Solomon, I know you could go on and on, please, because of our time. Because of our time, I apologize. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Wale.
Yes, good morning.
My brother in the house. Yeah, my name is Honorable Henry Jaji. The is calling from the People's Parliament in Abeokuta. We just have to stop anybody coming from UK or anywhere into Nigeria, so that we have to be very careful. We cannot afford to just want to face the lockdown again. Economically, people have been so much bastardized, and we don't want a continuous bastardization of people's economy, of industries, even the nation itself. So we need to be very careful. Give Nigerians punitive, monetary punishment. They will adhere strictly, using face masks, wash their hands, and social distancing. Good morning, Wale.
All right. Good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Wale.
Yes, good morning.
I'm Kayode from Magog. I greet everybody. You see, my take on Father Kuka or Bishop Kuka is that he has spoken the obvious, the minds of 99.9999% of Nigerians, including me too.
Let me
analyze this.
Okay, go ahead.
What is left for this government is to caution all terrorists and make those that are yet to be pronounced as terrorists, name them. So that you own up to responsibility. We see you owning up to responsibility, because as I'm looking at it, people may tolerate an unpleasant environment temporarily. Let me tell you, why hoping that it will change. But as that hopes wanes, what happens? Those who find more promising environment will leave. We will tend to leave. But should we play into gallery for people that are leading us not to lead well? You see, must we continue to flaunt authoritarian power? These people that are being talked about now, they were the ones that came to dispose Shagari there. So what are we talking about? Thank you very much.
All right. 08154321079. Just a number of minutes before we wrap things up this morning. TCP Bawatunde Oluwatosin on Twitter says, air flights bound pandemic control. Our leaders in this country are pool agents. They like to palm 2 and 4. Permutate, I'm sure it means. God is using the second wave to expose them more, because I can't believe that with all the financial relief, we're still lacking behind the medical treatment. But Adam Lola says the reason for the delay in ban of flights from US and UK is really uncalled for. Trying to delay may invite more harm than good. Nigerians must be responsible as individuals to curtail the spread. It says, may God heal the world. Honorable Ademalake says the decision to impose flight ban is not a very easy one, especially for a country like ours. Our prayer is that God should guide our decision makers in taking the right step at the right time. We trust that if we all act responsibly, we can defeat this virus together. Shegun Bogi says it's a fact that a lot of Nigerians don't believe COVID is real. Many are not even aware of the second wave at all. Government should please intensify effort on sensitization and awareness on radio, TV, and public places in order to curb the spread of this pandemic. Kuka's message: if they like, they should behead him. The message is clear. A time is coming if the government fails to change, even the fetus will speak against them. Interesting. Edwabami says the deliberate chaos at Apapa Port requires strong political will to resolve, just like the insecurity. Those benefiting from the misnomer wouldn't let go easily. Government has to take a firm stand now. Olakomilare, both message and messenger need to be x-rayed. Reverend Kuka, he says Reverend Kuka is an unrepentant PDP apologist and said he has never eat this. His anger is understandable. His preferred party lost out in 2015 and 19 elections. He should remember that he's a religious and not political leader.
I hope this person is not also an
APC apologist. My brothers in the studio, you have preached well to us against COVID. We, the church, need to hear what the Spirit is telling the church. Reverend Zachariah Elbayo Tanigbola. All right. We have to wrap things up. Apologies because of our time. We have to run very earlier than usual. Mr. Sam Akindele, thank you for your contributions this morning.
Thank you for having me. Let's stay safe. Good